Jai Hind to all the future officers. Welcome to the second part of the video on Indian Air Force defense knowledge. Today we will start by studying about the formation of Indian Air Force. But before that, I want to tell you about the ranks of the commissioned officers of Indian Air Force. It goes like this from bottom: flying officer, flying lieutenant, squadron leader, wing commander, group captain, air commodore, air vice marshal, air chief marshal. Okay, so now studying about the formation from bottom, it consists of firstly section consists of 3 aircrafts and is headed by flight lieutenant. Then comes the flights. Flight consists of 2 sections and is headed by squadron leader. Now comes the third thing is the squadron or unit. It consists of 3 flights. 3 flights means 18 aircrafts with field formation or strategic formation. What does the field formation or strategic formation means? Generally, a unit is placed at the particular location and it does not changes its location from one place to another. Okay, so it is headed by wing commander or group captain. Now comes the station. Station generally has 1 or 2 squadron assigned and it is headed by group captain. Now friends, I want to tell you one difference between a station and a wing. There is not much difference and there is a one slight difference which separates station and wing that I want to tell you. If at any station a operational unit is placed, operational unit like a fighter unit, transport unit, maintenance unit, these type of units are generally needed in operations when any operation air force operation is being done on the enemies or any type war type situation is there. These operational units come into action. So at any air force station, if operational unit is placed, then it is known as wings. Okay, so a wing consists of 2 to 3 squadrons and or helicopter units. Okay, and wing is headed by the rank of air commodore. Now above the wing comes the air groups and air groups is headed by air vice marshal, and above air group comes the commands. I have in the previous video I have to explained you all the 7 commands with the map. So above air vice marshal comes the air marshal, he heads the commands, and above the air marshal comes the air chief marshal. He is the air force chief, he or she whatever you call it is the air force chief, and they sit in and he sits in the air force military headquarters, defense headquarters located in New Delhi. So this was about the formation of Indian Air Force. So this was about the formation. Just revise it once again. Station, flight lieutenant, flight squadron leader, squadron or unit headed by wing commander or group captain. Station headed by group captain. Wing headed by air commodore. Wing and station are generally same, but if at any station operational unit is placed, then it is known as wing. Okay, so now coming to the next part. IF has several service branches from day-to-day operation. First is flying branch. The name suggests it. All the fighter pilots, all the fighter pilots, transport aircrafts, helicopters for operational and peacetime missions are under it. Flying branch. Okay. Technical branch responsible for maintenance and upkeeping the aircraft and the ancillary equipment, which means technical branch generally takes care of the maintenance of the aircrafts so that they are battle worthy all the time, operational worthy all the time, so that they are properly maintained, so that they work in the all the time of need. Okay, technical branch takes care of the maintenance. Now comes the ground branch. Branch generally provides the all the meteorological data to the fighter pilots, like if any aircraft is going in the air. So this ground branch comes into action. They provide all the data of the weather and other things to the fighter pilot or air force pilot, so that they know about the location, what is the weather of the location, and they fly according to it. Other than that, ground branch also take care of the pays and allowances of the army personnel's education and medical requirements of the personals. Okay, now force multipliers of air force. Okay, so first is Garud Commando Force. It is special forces of air force, like para special forces is for army, Marcos is for navy. So Garud special forces or commando forces is for Indian Air Force established in September 2009 consists of 1500 military personnel, and it generally comes into the action during the hostile situation, during the situation of any operation of or the any situation of war with the enemy. How they just work? Generally, all the special forces of the world have only one motive: to work behind the enemy lines, to work cross border in the enemy's territory. So suppose I will take an example and make you explain this thing, how special forces work. Suppose Indian Air Force has to attack in China, and you know that China has the missile defense system. So if our Air Force, if our fighter jet enters the Chinese territory, their radars will track it, and the missile defense system would fire the missiles and destroy the Indian Air Force fighter jet. So now the special forces come into action. How they will work? They will be just airdrop into the Chinese territory. They will just destroy the Chinese radars or missile defense system behind the enemy's line. They are dropped behind enemy's lines. They are destroying their radars and other things, other missile defense system, so that our Air Force fighter jets just do the airstrikes and come back again safely without any harm. So this is the work of special forces. They make the work easy for the other backward forces. Okay, now comes the unmanned aerial vehicle, UAVs and drones. Okay, so I have made a separate video clearly stating the difference between the UAV and drones. Okay, so generally UAV and drones are used for the surveillance purposes, and this currently India has the Heron and Searcher drones, and UAV and Searcher drone and Heron drones for the surveillance purposes. Okay, now airborne early warning and control system. It is also known as AWACS. India has one AWACS from which is known as Falcon, and it is the Israeli made. India currently have 3 AWACS and 2 more are being ordered. Now, what does AWACS mean? Your black thing which you are seeing above this aircraft, this is known as the AWACS. Oval type of black thing is the AWACS. Generally, when this aircraft is flying in the air, this aircraft will just able to detect the enemy fighter aircrafts, enemy missiles, enemy vessels, ship vessels. All this aircraft would be able to easily detect in mid-air, and thus our pilots can pre-prepare, our forces can pre-prepare for the upcoming threat from the enemies, and we can take action. So this is role of the AWACS. India owns Israeli made Falcon AWACS air warning and control system, and Indian Air Force has indigenously made AWACS also made by DRDO, which is named as Netra. Okay, so now coming to one more thing, air refueling aircraft. India also has the air-to-air refueling aircraft named Ilyushin 278. This is the Russian made aircraft. It is the aerial refueling tanker. It generally comes as the fuel. This image you are seeing, it is written Bharatiya Vayu Sena. So this air refueling tanker consists of the fuel, and it is responsible to do the mid air to air refueling in the other aircrafts of the Air Force. See, these images I have taken from different news media channels. The bottomest image, the image at the bottom is from the Russian media channel, where from this air refueling tanker Ilyushin 278, one pipe is extended towards one other aircraft and the mid-air refueling is being done. Other news is the screenshot of ANI report which Indian Air Force did. This was the first attempt made by the IF using mighty Ilyushin 278. This aircraft did the mid-air refueling of which aircraft? Of the ERJ-145 aircraft. So this image you are seeing, this is the ERJ-145 aircraft, and the black top or the black thing above it is the AWACS Netra AWACS. Okay, so this air refueling tanker did the mid air to air refueling of this ERJ-145 aircraft of Indian Air Force. So these all are the force multipliers of Indian Air Force. This was all about our today's video. Thank you for watching. I will bring I think that 2 more videos are needed. and we will complete whole defense knowledge on Indian Air Force. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. If you have any comments or feedbacks, do comment them in the comment box. Thank you so much and Jai Hind.